everybody, welcome back to the I'll Do Cycling podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Paris-Nice, the race well known for its crosswinds, for Sean Kelly, for being the race to the sun, kind of the first major stage race. I think this is pretty much, once Paris-Nice starts, that's the season, just in full swing. And then, as you've seen on our Instagram, if you follow us at I'll Do Cycling, just drop that in right there. Go follow us on Instagram. There is a lot of shit going on in March. Created a to-do list for others to see, and also just for myself, because I just need to keep on track with everything that's going on. But anyway, Instagram. This will also be on YouTube. There'll be a Vela games of this, a little bit of a new video kind of format that I've never done before, so go and check that out.
Basically shit tons.
Yeah, shit tons. And yeah, I am the Vela Games guru. I don't care what anybody else says. I am the expert.
He is. He just smashes me every time. You spend at least, the thing is, right, you spend about 4 times as much time in it than I do. Yeah. You don't do 4 times better.
That's true. It's not
linear.
No, it's not linear.
It's not even exponential.
No, it's not. It's like negative exponential. it's terrible. Anyway, let's go on and talk about Paris-Nice. We're usually well known for its crosswinds. However, I have looked at the forecast and there's not much wind going on. There's a lot of sunshine and blue skies and not a lot of wind. That sucks. I mean, what the hell are we supposed to do now when we check in, and there's Rob Hatch, who's usually going, "Oh, the race has blown to pieces whilst you've been away." No, it's literally just going to be more than likely some more straightforward sprint stages. But usually you can look at these stages and be like, "Oh, there could be some splits. Oh, who's going to lose time on GC? Yada yada yada." But yeah, not really. Anyway, stage 1, following on from that, looks to be a sprint. It looks pretty flat. What do you think about it? It's just pretty. Yeah,
I think it's a pretty basic sprint stage. It's rolling. There's 4 third category climbs in it, 2 intermediate sprints.
Yeah. I certainly
166k.
Yeah.
No, it's just a good warm up.
I do think that I think maybe the profile might be a bit deceiving. It's possibly a bit harder in the last 50k than it lets on. It's definitely quite up and down. Perhaps. I mean, it's hard to say, it's not for a pure sprinter, because who really is a pure sprinter anymore? Caleb Ewan, when he can't climb, is pretty much as close as you get. But will Sam Bennett be dropped on those 1 kilometre at 5%? It depends if somebody attacks. Really.
Equally, just right in the finale, it looks like there's maybe 500 meters worth of climbing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a drag.
So let's say it's 500 meters at 10%.
Yeah.
And then after that, you've got about 1 kilometre until the finish. That's a hard finish, and it could, maybe it could be a bit deceiving.
I think it might be harder than the profile that's on, which makes it a bit apprehensive to say it's just going to be a pure sprinter. But at the same time, I don't think it's hard enough for a puncher such as Michael Matthews.
Well, I think someone who showed himself to be quite good at a finish like this is Laporte.
Yeah.
With Buhani, when he finished ahead of Buhani.
Yep.
So maybe I think it's going to be pretty similar to that kind of finish, but with more flat at the top of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does well on that.
Yeah, I think Laporte is a good shout. I think Buhani as well, he's coming. I guess we'll go through all the sprinters and just lay them all out. Degenkolb, I guess, if you classify them as a sprinter. It's looking alright.
He did alright. I was impressed.
Yeah. Christoph/Trentin. Again, I'd say Trentin's looking the better of the two, because he was actually attacking in Kern, was it? It might have been Kern and Omloop. I can't remember.
Probably both, yeah.
I think it was both. Nizzolo won a stage here last year, has proven himself to be quite good, or one of the better climbers of the sprinter category. quite a hard man sprinter, I think, in all honesty. Colbrelli, Jumbo-Visma aren't bringing anybody, neither Astana, neither anything else. Who else we got? I don't know. AG2 don't really have a sprinter. Jordi Meus / Ackerman.
/ Ackerman.
Yeah. It's quite a deadly
Trio
that you got,
of sprinting.
But like, who I think is just a bit weird, to be honest with you. I'm like, I would like to see Meus, but like Ackerman's here as well, so I'm not really sure what to think about that. I'm not sure how Ackerman's going to go here, to be honest with you.
Maybe they just see, I don't know, Meus showed that he was quite versatile in the finish I just spoke about with Laporte.
Yeah.
He was up there.
Yeah.
Compared to someone like Ackerman won't be up on that. So maybe they're thinking Meus can do the more versatile finishes, maybe / Pollitt, versatile finisher, and then Ackerman's the more pure sprinter finish.
Yeah, I just consider Ackerman to be more like a hot weather sprinter. I don't know. I just imagine Paris just being a bit not where he'd do well. I don't know. That's just a weird, just a weird.
But he's got all
feeling.
that belly fat.
That's true. Of course, like you said, Laporte. Let's go on to the main man, Sam Bennett. After winning 2 stages at the UAE Tour and like a second, or however he came on the last day, he's bringing Morkouv here, Tim de Klerk, Seneschal, Lampard, Cavagna, and Mattia Catania. I mean, that's like the whole lead-out shebang, really. And Morkouv has proven himself to be worth his weight in gold to Bennett. Lots of people saying that Ewan would be winning as much as Bennett if he had Morkouv. Like, it's just a lead-out man that's been so integral. And, if Wynn does, by any chance, start gusting, but De Koenig are going to be there. So, Sam Bennett is the big highlight sprinter out of all the names. Maggie is apparently going. Demar. I don't know. Demar has looked a bit off. What do you think? I know he won that second group sprint in Curtin, but I think that a Demar in form would have been in the front group.
I don't think a Demar is... Nah.
You think he's a bit overrated?
Oh, no, I think he's overrated. Not as a sprinter, but as just a rider in general.
Okay.
There's no way that he was making that front group.
Yeah.
Like, he can't do it himself like a Sagan could.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that if it was like a sprint finish like this one, I think he could be up there.
Yeah.
But he's just not this classics guy that people think that he is.
Yeah, I think he's definitely turned more to a bit of a into a sprinter. He's just a weird one, but I go back to my point. I'm just not sure how great he's looked this year. He's been smoked by Ballerini at Provence, and like I don't know, he just looks a bit off. That's just me. Anyway, Danny Van Poppel for Intermarché, Rudy Barbier, just Matteo Jorgensen. I know he's not a sprinter, but just exciting. I don't know, I'm just getting excited.
My favourite ginger.
Just throwing that name out there. Michael Matthews makes his debut for Bike Exchange, but again, I'm not sure how hard the terrain is. I don't think it's hard enough for him. DSM bring Case Ball, Trek Segafredo with the lead out of Pedersen, Edward Turns, Alex Kirsch, and Jasper Stuyven, a very proven quartet. I could definitely see Pedersen actually winning a sprint here, believe it or not. I just feel like he's better in the cold weather. Paris-Nice, cold weather, spring weather, just suits him more than other guys. It's just the way it is. Cockhards look decent, but let's face it, he always just finishes anywhere from 4th place to 7th place. But
and if he doesn't do that, he gets a puncture.
Yeah. I know. I did look. I liked how he looked in the opening weekend. He was actually up there in the group, pulling turns, and I was like, whoa, Cockard.
But do you reckon if he finished in the KBK front group, would he have beaten Pidcock in a sprint? Theoretically, he should have done.
It was his position in like that.
And would he have beaten Turgis?
Probably, yeah.
And could he have maybe got close to Mads Pedersen? And could he have won? But you could never imagine him actually winning that.
No.
But on paper, he should have been really close to Mads Pedersen.
That's true.
But I just couldn't ever see it.
And then the other two names, Jasper Philipsen and Edvard Bosenhagen. Philipsen.
Bob Bosenhagen is out of the picture, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
What even is he anymore? He's just a massive engine. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, out of all those names, it's more than likely we're thinking a sprint, but maybe uphill drag, bit of a hard man sprint, possibly. I mean, who you putting on the line there? Who are you saying is going to win? Stage 1.
I'll stick my neck out and say Laporte. Because I've already
Nice.
said it.
I'm going to go with...
Based on the fact that I think that the finish is slightly uphill and then flat.
Yeah.
If it's not that, then Bennett.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go Bennett, but I feel like that's just a bit boring for the first one. So I'm going to go with... I don't know. Ackerman. I don't know. I just feel like maybe we're going to go for a weird one. After all I just said. It's just complete...
Chatting shit.
I just stop.
Nah, he's good. He's good.
He's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm just going to completely against everything that I've just said, but never mind. Forget about it.
So I'd say
Stage
like
2?
Stage 2 is a flatter sprint stage, like a more sprint stage.
Yeah, there's no caveat to it, and the wind is...
Hang on, let me just check. Let me just zoom in.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's flat.
Yeah, it's flat, and it's definitely flat all the way to the line. I've checked the wind, it's low, it's literally like 7 miles an hour, probably less. It's sunny, it's just like, meh. It's going to be a sprint.
I think based off the fact that what we've seen at the UAE Tour, Ackerman finds it hard to deliver without his German squadra.
And they're not here.
And they're not here. And can anyone then come round Sam Bennett with his full squad of wolf packs, of wolves, whatever? And if someone does, that guy is arguably one of the could arguably be the best sprinter in the world if he can beat Sam Bennett with that full squad.
The only reason Sam Bennett is going to lose this is if he's out of position.
Which he shouldn't be if he's got a squad.
Which he shouldn't be. Therefore, the only person who can beat him, in my eyes, and my prediction, I'm going to go with Mads Pedersen, because that's the only person who's here with a good enough lead-out train to get him.
Mads Pedersen's here?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that when you said it.
Oh, no, well, bloody hell.
King showed himself.
I'm going to go with Mads Pedersen because the only way Bennett's losing is if he's out of position, and the only person who can get into a better position is Pedersen. So there you go. Are you going with Bennett?
No.
Oh.
Demar.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll just go with anybody but Bennett because we think it's boring.
Well, no, my caveat was Bennett.
Oh, nice.
One,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
But no, I think Demar. I think Demar is faster than Bennett.
Yeah.
He just needs to get it right, and I'm praying that he gets it right.
That's true. Stage 3, and we're on to the best kind of day. It's TT day. It's...
Woo!
Yeah. Paris always has a weird tendency to throw up just TTs which aren't straightforwards. Like there's a 2 kilometers in, it says there is a kilometer at an average of 4%. That is a lie. It is 400 meters at 10%, and then the rest of it is flat. But it's just averaged out like that. So it's just like, what? So there's just this wall for 400 meters, and then it's really just rolling the rest of it, flat, downhill.
Do you remember
bizarre.
Do you remember the Bergen World's individual TT?
Yeah.
And there was like the first checkpoint, and they went up that hill.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine it's going to be like.
Yeah, it probably will be.
It'll be about that length.
I mean, even the last 400 meters averages 6.3%. It's just not straightforward, is it? You'd think that wouldn't be enough to shake anybody, but I don't know. It'll come down to 10 seconds to the victor, and you know, those gradients could make the difference. So, with that in mind, again, wind's pretty low. That's not going to make much of a difference. Let's go through first off. Well, I guess we'll tie it together. People who we think could win, and also let's talk about the GC battle and how this time trial could affect that. So let's go through some TT names. Thomas de Gent, always you just don't know when this guy's going to peak in his form, but I think he usually starts. I remember he's really good in Volta Catalunya, which, by the way, we'll do a preview for later this month. But yeah, you never know about De Gent. Could be, could not be. Campenarts, after his, now he's a classics man. All of a sudden he's gaining loads of form because he wants to be in good form for all these cobbled races. I mean, who else is there?
Sorry, we didn't even mention Dylan Turns after his pretty big show.
Well, we're about to bloody go there then. Dylan Turns. He can put out a decent-ish time trial. We saw it last year at, oh god, it might have been like the Ruta del Sol or something like that. One of those Spanish stage races. I think he won. Yes, I agree. Dylan Turns was pulling mega turns at the Kern-Brussels-Kern for Sonny Colbrelli. And, I think he's got form. I think he's looking good. Now, can he convert that into a good GC performance? Because, of course, last year, Bahrain were one of the first teams to pull out of Paris, because this was the first race which was really... Well, no, UAE Tour was cut short by COVID, but this was also affected. And it was like the last race, wasn't it? This was the last race before COVID took hold, and then it cancelled everything afterwards. So, and this is also the first... No, it's not. I was going to say it's the first race we've covered twice. It's not. That would have been Stardy. Which will come up next, anyway. Yeah, Dylan Turns. I rate his chances. Main man, Roglic. Can anybody beat him on this time trial? Yay or nay?
Well, how about this? Can anyone beat him overall? George Bennett.
No.
What happens if George Bennett is in better form than Roglic?
God, I don't know. I mean, what do you reckon?
Anyways.
These Kiwis, like, national champs jerseys going to give him
Morale.
another morale.
Can anyone beat Roglic in this time trial? I don't know. Dennis is here.
Rowan Dennis is probably, I'd say, one of the only people.
I think I'd put my money on Dennis. I think he would hold more consistent form across the year than Roglic would. I think it's very hard to predict how good Roglic is going.
Yeah, that's true. Bob Jungels, again, you can never really tell.
I mean, to be fair, there are some stages that we'll get into that I think Jungels could be kind of in a breakaway.
Yeah.
Stay to win.
I agree.
He's a strong guy. He just needs to give up on this GC lark.
Yeah. Give it up, man. I'll go back to Ineos because I want to talk about their GC stuff in a second.
Okay.
But Schachmann, again, one of the only people who I'd consider to be able to beat Roglic, maybe, because I reckon this is Schachmann's first race, which makes it a bit hard to predict his form, but he came second of his time trial at Paris last year, behind Søren Kragh. So I'd have to put Schachmann up there. Who else? We got De Koenig. Lampard I don't consider to be in the greatest of form yet. I don't think. That's not a dig at him. He's targeting the main classics races, which is, chapeau to that. Therefore, I just don't see him having the form yet. Who else have we got?
Someone like Nielsen Paulus, I think, showed himself to be quite good in the UAE Tour.
You want to know how many points he is on Vela Games?
10.
6.
Really?
Yeah. One of the first people I put on.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Hey, people, I'm happy catching up in this knowledge.
Sorry, yeah. No, you'll have to go check out the other video for more little tips like that. That was just a little jab there for you to whet the appetite.
David Gaudu?
Well, he's not pulling out a good time trial, is he? Probably.
Nope. But he's a good GC guy.
I agree. I think Gaudu is one of the favourites. Boom.
Oh, yeah, shit. I'm sorry, I forgot we're on about.
Oh, yeah, we're on about the time trial.
What could Sepp Van Mark do?
He's looked fast, hasn't he? As of late. But again, there won't be any crosswinds for him to take advantage of. And if they bring in Rudy Barbier, the big chode himself, they'll be riding for him. I don't think Sepp Van Mark's much of a time trialist either, unfortunately. So therefore, I kind of see this as a bit of a wasted trip.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know what he's doing. Matteo Jorgensen.
Don't know how he does on a time trial.
I know he's freaking strong. Right. I know that what did he do? Was it 440?
Up Von 2.
Up Von 2.
It's a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For 30 plus minutes.
Yeah. And I think he weighs 70 kilos or something. 6.5 watts per kilo, I think.
It was a lot.
So, if he can do that for 30 minutes, what the heck can he do for 18.
Yeah, true.
You know, he must be able to do at least, like, what do you reckon, 470?
Yeah,
I'd say so. I've seen his training. He is not messing about, people.
I know. Michael Matthews can sometimes pull out a decent time trial.
And what about Armand Grondheil Janssen?
I don't know how he does in a time trial.
I mean, he's a unit, isn't he?
He finished 15th at Kern. So, like, he was in the front group at least.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the person who won the time trial last year, Søren Kraut returns.
He won it.
He won the time trial last
Shows
year.
how much I know.
Could he win? Yeah.
Yes. He's a freaking beast.
Um,
Just think about the time. The time breakaway. That's exactly what this is.
And then the last name which I'm throwing out is Mads Pedersen, because I feel like sometimes he can. We've seen the Bink Bank Tour, he can pull out some time trials. I don't think he'll be winning, but that's just a name which might pop into the top 10. Nils Pollitt as well. Another bargain on Vela Games, but go check that out. And I want to talk about, Teo Geoghegan Hart, really. Of course, we saw in the Giro last year, he did, we actually saw him go hard against the clock, which gives us a good impression as to how good he actually is. And, we saw that he is, I'd say, above average for a GC rider. But let's see how much time is he going to lose to Roglic over whatever it was, 14k.
Yep.
I mean, I'm expecting maybe 2 seconds a kilometre. Maybe.
Fair.
I don't know. Is that unrealistic?
I don't think so.
So therefore, it's 14 kilometres, 2 seconds. He'll be expecting to lose maybe about 30 seconds. And the real question, therefore, is whether is Teo going to get 30 seconds back on Roglic? It's going to be hard to do, especially when you consider that Roglic is faster in a sprint if it came down to bonus seconds at a line.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be difficult to beat him. That's why Roglic is one of the best GC riders, because he's actually quite well rounded. He can do a bit of everything. So, moving on, just dropping that in there before we move on to stage 4, which is the first uphill battle that we're going to see. So this is, again, the average gradient for the final climb, which we are jumping straight to. It's really up and down all day. Like, I am talking about how many Category 2 climbs? 5, 6 Category 2 climbs and then a Category 1 at the end. It's like looking at whatever people say, a shark's set.
Like Jeremy Clarkson said, it's like looking at a teenager's face.
It's just really up and down all day, and I can tell you, there is a climb, they go up twice, which is 3 kilometers at 7.7%. The last climb is 7.3 kilometers at 6%, but that is actually broken up into a section which is at least a kilometer at 10%. And then it levels off, and then it kind of kicks up again. So it's actually kind of like a set of steps rather than a consistent gradient, which I think favours more pure climbers because it encourages attacking. And you know what else encourages attacks? The fact that there is a sprint point halfway up the climb at the end, which will surely draw out somebody to try and get some bonus seconds. Now, to do that, I mean, who do you reckon? I'm going to throw like Shackman. Do you reckon Shackman is going to have? Is Shackman just going to be sowing the red that he's just hanging on?
I'm going to throw something else back to you instead.
Oh God!
Because what happens? So let's say Jumbo-Visma Roglic takes the leader's jersey, stage 3, and gets a decent gap. Let's say about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So what incentive do Jumbo-Visma have to chase down the breakaway if there's bonus seconds halfway up that climb?
Oh, look at you.
Yep. So I didn't initially think this. I initially thought GC battle all day long.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking, could this be a day for the breakaway based on the context of the bit before?
Possibly.
Because why do Jumbo-Visma want to chase hard the day after this?
Yeah.
What's the day after like?
It's a sprint day the day after.
All right. Okay.
It's like maybe they will, but yeah, I see what you mean. It all depends on how much time they have on somebody like Teo or Shackman, because of course Shackman probably won't have lost that much time. Is what I'm thinking.
I mean, let's say it's like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Why fight that battle today?
Yeah, they can definitely fight it another day. It just depends on another team taking it up. Ineos, more than likely, who will be thinking, okay, they will more than likely be behind Shackman at this point with Teo. And they'll be thinking, okay, we need bonus seconds, therefore we need to make this hard, because we need to drop Shackman or get him in the red so that Teo can get the bonus seconds. So I think you're right. Jumbo-Visma won't have the incentive to drive it hard, so it'll be up to Ineos, more than likely, to try and do that instead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Let's put a name on it, man. So who's going to be? I mean, what should we say? Let's just say who we think is going to win. Either, if you think a breakaway is going to win, say who you think is going to win from a break. If you think a GC battle's going to win, who you think is going to win from a GC battle.
I think if it's a break,
yeah,
someone like I don't know if he would have done this shit so far. I want to say like Ben O'Connor.
Yeah,
could win from a break, but I think if it's a GC battle, I think Shackman is going to win just because of the nature of the climb. It's quite up, rest, up, rest, up.
Yeah,
he's that kind of like punchy kind of guy.
I'm gonna go with Godu for the win. I feel like those.
For a breakaway or GC?
For a GC.
Alright.
I think that's quite a sound pick.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't have a team here to drill the pace, so he's going to be reliant on surfing off of others and then doing his own thing. And I feel like he's probably lost enough time in the time trial that if he does go, they won't be too worried. Because he's probably like 5 minutes down already from that time trial.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. From a break, again, it's kind of difficult to say, but I'll go with... oh God, this is hard, isn't it? I'm going to go with somebody else from AG2R, that Aurélien Palais-Pentler. That dude who won that very first French one-day race.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just going to shout him out. Next day is, of course, a sprint day. That's the day which I said that I said to you before this has like 10 mile an hour winds, and there is a possibility of about 30 k's to go. There could be some crosswinds because the road kind of goes like, I'm going to do this from like your perspective. It goes like that. Right. The wind's like that. And
so
it's like
it's
10 miles an hour.
going southeast.
It's going
and there's wind.
Yeah, and there's wind coming from the southwest.
Yeah.
For people who are listening to this. And it's about 10 miles an hour, which is 16, 17k. Don't know if that's enough to create a split. Could be. Could be enough for somebody to at least try and make it hard. So, who's going to make it hard in a crosswind sprint?
Oh, I wonder who. De Koenig.
De Koenig and Trek, I think.
And I reckon, depending on how Ineos are doing at this point, Ineos could make it hard.
Yeah, try and drop Roglic, which is one thing that I think his team isn't great for crosswinds. They have Tony Martin, Jos van Emden, and Leonard Hofstede.
And let's be frank, right? Those guys, they're big guys, but they've got no idea how to ride a crosswind.
Yeah, exactly. It also depends on who Ineos bring to the fight, which will depend on that as well. So again, a sprint could be crosswinds. Who do you think is going to win today's stage? Stage 5. It's not great because we don't have all the names yet, but give it a stab.
I was going to say Bennett.
You're going to say Bennett. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we finally said him. I am going to go with Christoph.
Ooh.
I know. I feel like it's flat enough that he'll hang on.
Gee, and in crosswinds, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Stage 6.
Uh-huh.
Goes up a big climb in the middle that must be, in total, it's split into 2 climbs, but it's actually at least 10 kilometres of climbing at an average of 6.5%. I think this is breakaway written all over it.
That's what I said.
it's very easy to say that because the next day is a big uphill battle, which means the GC guys want to save their legs. It's just been a sprint day, so the sprint guys can't be bothered. It's like a transition stage. So with that in mind, breakaway riders. It's hard to predict because you don't know who's completely
Michael
shot the bed.
Matthews.
You're going Michael Matthews.
Not to win. I think he can be in that
Oh
group.
right, okay. Sorry, I thought you were going for a win. I was
No.
mad
Well, I
about
don't know. But like,
Yeah.
you know, this climb is not that hard. It averages 6.5%. I'm including the first and the second category climb.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they could just have to get over this big climb in the middle, and then it's just gradually downhill all the way to the finish. Like, there's a few kickers here and there, but nothing he can't get over.
Exactly.
And then if he can get there in the end...
It's a bit of a kick up to the line, I think. Very small.
Okay, it's Michael
Very.
Matthews, mate.
It's fine. He's a puncher. That's what he's made for.
Yeah, so I reckon he should be in that conversation. It's hard to then say how the GC's playing out at this point.
Yeah.
Like, who's lost time, who's crashed.
Exactly. I'm going to go with somebody who did well on a gradient similar recently, Lutsenko. He almost won until Vingegaard overtook him. I feel like Lutsenko doesn't have the form to go for a GC contention, unfortunately. I might eat my words in a couple of days. But I feel like he could be a person who, if he's lost time, he'll be in the break.
If Dylan Turns has lost time, I think he would be a good shout.
Yep. I think, Remy Cavagna usually gets in a breakaway. And because De Koenig, their biggest climber is Catania, but I see him targeting GC a bit. I think Cavagna is probably their best bet to get in a break. Maggie usually likes to get in a breakaway of this kind of caliber. Who else? JJ Rojas. I don't think DSM will. I think they're quite set on Tige Benoit. In fact, I know for a certain they are quite certain on a Tige Benoit GC battle here. Because, of course, he came second last year, Tige Benoit. Yeah, that was quite impressive. And you kind of forget about his climbing ability. So I don't think they'll send somebody into the break. I think that will be a no-go.
Maybe Warren Barguil.
Yeah, probably.
Did you say him or not? I
No.
don't think you did.
I didn't. Yeah. Maybe someone like Simon Geschke. Groscharkner.
Muldberger.
Yeah, Mulberger. Youngles. Sergio Henao. You know, all those kind of guys. De Gent, of course. De Gent will go in there as well. So, what do you think? Who's winning from a breakaway? Will it be like a long range attack?
None of those guys.
None of
Fabio
them.
Aru.
Fabio. Bloody Nora, he's not winning. He's not winning anything again.
Alright, maybe that's a bit ambitious.
A bit! But the most ambitious thing since, like, I don't know.
Shredded wheat.
Since shredded wheat.
No, I only say that because
Yeah.
it's not a super hard climber day, but it could be the sort of day where I could see him regaining all his confidence and winning.
Yeah, okay.
But instead of that, I'm gonna go Michael Matthews.
Nice. I'm going to go with Lutsenko.
Damn, that's quite the.
That's quite. It could go either way.
No, you couldn't.
It could go. I'm trying to be nice.
But just remember, people, if Fabio Aru wins, I called it.
I keep called it.
I called it.
Stage 7. Up and down. Quite a lot of the day. It goes up a category 1 climb, then a category 2, then a category 2, then a sprint point, and then it goes up the climb which they went up last year, which Nairo won up, the Val de Blanc. What the fuck?
You missed the French.
La
Francais.
Colmian. There you go. I forget the first bit. La Colmian. That's what we're going up. The one which Nairo won up. The one where Tige had to stop immediately after the finish line. The one where Shackman was on the limit all the freaking time. The one where Nibali tried to attack and they wouldn't let him get away. That one. However, this time they have included a sprint point part way up. Well, 2/3 of the way up. And Cameron, I hate to say it, but I don't think the breakaway card will work this time. I feel like there's too much of a hill to get away. It's definitely a GC battle.
I think you might be right. Queen stage I've put.
Yeah, absolutely. it's just difficult. It's going to come down to the trains, isn't it, really? And after Rowan Dennis's stunning performance at the Giro last year, does he quite like the Super Domestique role? Him and Teo? I could see definitely Rowan Dennis drilling it on the front, Teo attacking afterwards, but the thing is, just Teo doesn't have the snap, or he doesn't have as big of a snap as Roglic does. And that's the issue.
I know you mentioned about Tiege Bennett,
Yeah.
but I think you've missed someone on their team, mate.
What, Jai Hindley?
Jai Hindley, mate.
That's true.
I mean, he's second in Giro d'Italia.
Yeah. And
he showed himself to be a right good climber.
Yeah. As Diana said what I said, because I saw on like DSM's website and it was like, we're looking to see how far we can push Tige's GC or something like that. So I have a feeling like Jai's going to be domestique duty.
I'd be interested to
That's
see
just
what's
me,
going to happen.
Unless Jai's sent attacking to kind of draw people out. Or for somebody for Tige to bridge up to. I don't know. Because we saw last year it's not a crazily steep climb. It's like 6%. But for it's just really long. And I think this is part of the reason why I think Schachmann won't win. Is because Schachmann won last year. A, Roglic wasn't here. And B, the stage after this was cancelled. And we saw how much Schachmann was on the limit at this stage last year. Like, he was, going all in. And, like, completely in the red, just seeing double. And he lost, like, 16 seconds to Tige. Which is why I think that Tige will... I feel like he's got better climbing ability than Schachmann. Unless Schachmann might have changed, to be honest with you. But to be honest with you, I just see it being a Jumbo-Visma versus Ineos kind of thing. If Roglic is in the yellow jersey, he's not going to... I mean, maybe he'll just attack for the hell of it. Maybe he's just like, it's only a week long. I'll just attack anyway and just win by an even bigger margin. Who do you think? Can anybody beat Roglic here? It's going to be hard, isn't it? It's going to require somebody being far enough down on Roglic to attack for him not to need to respond.
Yeah, I think if somebody let's say for some reason Roglic sprints for this intermediate sprint.
Yeah.
That's 3/4 way up this climb.
Yeah.
And then someone like Jai counters him when he's just in the red.
Yeah.
Equally, could someone like Schachmann, Teo, Jai, Tige sprint for the bonus seconds?
Yeah.
And then Roglic just counters him because he don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to say Roglic is going to win.
Yeah. I want to say go do.
Nah, I'm not. I'm going to say George Bennett's going to win.
Bloody Nora. That's not a bad shot because he's probably just like, George, you attack.
Yeah, exactly.
George, you attack. I'm going to... I don't know, man. It's difficult to say. I'm going to go with Tiege Bennett. I'm going to say that he's far enough down on GC that he attacks.
What?
Wins.
Right, I'm telling you right now. Tiege Bennett is not even keeping up in this GC battle. It's going to be so far down. He'll probably win. He'll probably win stage 6, the breakaway day that we just talked about, because he's 25 minutes down. He's not a GC guy.
He is. He finished second last year.
Against crap. Quintana won, man.
Quintana was flying.
Anyway. Stage 8.
Stage 8. The stage which got cancelled last year. The one which, David de la Cruz won a couple of years back. Really up and down all day. Pretty much it's the home roads for a lot of these riders because they're all, riding around Monaco, avoiding taxes and stuff, and then just go off into the Nice hills. Really, it's a downhill finish, and one that I think could favour the breakaway. We have seen the breakaway win here before. I mean, yeah. I think we'll talk about... Let's go with the breakaway first, because I feel like the breakaway's got a good chance of going. Lots of people will be in the break as foils for attacks from behind, which means that I am more than likely expecting Ineos to be putting somebody like Dylan van Baarle and Laurens de Plus in the breakaway for Teo to try and attack up to. I think Dennis will stay with Teo, and I think he'll attack, or Dennis will set a pace, Teo will attack, drop, and then Dylan Mabal will drop back, work for him a bit, Teo will have to then go again, and then bridge up to Lawrence to Plus, and that'll work, something like that. Which means, are Jumbo-Visma going to send anybody into the breakaway? Maybe.
That's too adventurous for Jumbo-Visma.
I feel like you're right. They've just got to play the card of we're going to keep all of our people around.
We're imagining that they're going to be defending rather than attacking, so therefore you need as many guys there with Roglic.
Do you know who somebody I've completely just remembered we forgot to mention?
Who?
Vlasov. He doesn't have a form though at the moment, does he?
Who knows?
I don't think he's got the form at the moment. He got dropped up freaking what the fuck it's called? Von 2. He finished like outside the top 10 on that day, didn't he? Or he might finish like 9th. I can't remember. Other people to go into the breakaway.
Jorgensen.
Jorgensen did a good job on that Von 2 stage to the point where I feel like he could finish top 15 on GC.
And guess where he lives?
At altitude.
Nice.
Of course he does.
So he knows these roads like the back of his hand.
Of course.
So I reckon, honestly, breakaway.
Yeah.
He could stand a good chance.
And because he'll be like 15th on GC, he'll be allowed to go in the break.
Yep.
Which means it'll bump up to like 12th.
Yeah.
There you go.
If he's 4 points on Velo Games,
he's 6.
He's good. 6. You know, he's still going
enough.
in my team.
It's good enough, isn't it? De Gent will probably be in the break. De La Cruz probably will be because he'll be like 13 minutes down on GC. Who else?
Who could be foils?
Like a Jon Izagir if Vlasov's doing all right.
Yeah.
Or a Großschartner for a
Wout for a Bilbao.
Yeah.
Großschartner for
a Catania might just go in the break to try and get himself up into like a top 10 on GC.
Who's this super young Colombian guy for EF?
Oh, about Daniel Arroyav.
Yeah.
Arroyav. He's like the under 23 Colombian champ. People are pretty hyped on him, but I don't really know. Being under 23 Colombian champ doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden World Tour. Well, it kind of does in this case, but it doesn't mean you have a World Tour watts to be like going and fighting against people. Like, no. I disagree. I would say that somebody from FDJ would, but quite frankly, they haven't released their whole team yet. So I would like to say that somebody like Rudy Mollard, but I feel like he's going to Stradi, so I don't think that's particularly viable. But, you know, somebody from FDJ for Godu to attack up to, because let's face it, he'll probably still be down considering that time trial performance. Mühlberger, something who we haven't mentioned yet.
Oh, we mentioned him just once.
Alright. We rate Mühlberger, and of course he's getting his own chances now with Movistar. How is he going to do with that? It's difficult to say. I don't know. Mühlberger for a break? Yeah, I quite like that. Unless he's already in like 8th on GC, in which case he'll probably just sit in and just take that. DSM, Jai in the break? Likely.
I don't know, mate. I reckon Jai's going to be up there on Tej Benut's in the break. Jai Hindley's up there, 3rd on GC, mate.
You think Benut's in the break for Jai?
Yes! That's exactly what I think.
I reckon somebody right, so for some reason, just on a different note, Cobbled Classics guys are in really good form this time of year, which means that they climb surprisingly well in comparison. Like, Stuyven finished 15th on GC last year in Paris-Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Just what are you thinking Soren Carlson's going to finish 12th?
Soren finished like 10th last year in this race on GC.
But he's not going to want to climb up that big old hill. Why would you want to do that to yourself?
Because the team tells you to.
No, I do not go.
No.
Time!
I don't know. Kenny Elissonde, Bernard, Stuyven, yada yada yada. Barguil. GC battle, I think we kind of mentioned already. I think that, like we said, it's going to be lots of foils, lots of people attacking, bridging, quite tactical. Groups of, 3 GC guys who are in 5th, 7th and 11th going up against like guys who are like 3rd, like 7th and 9th. And they're just kind of like, what's the strategy? Who cares the most? Oh, you're about to lose your 7th place, therefore you need to pull more. Like, it's just going to be quite frankly, it's going to be more of a mathematical problem for like DS. It's going to be like, oh bloody hell, this guy's up the road by a minute 13, but this guy's 57 seconds behind us. That puts us, get my calculator out. That puts us in this place on GC. You know, it's going to be a nightmare. I predict Jumbo-Visma just to shut down everybody's fun, and therefore a breakaway will win, but it'll be a solo victor. There you go.
Who's solo?
Who's going solo? Well, that's a great point. I haven't. See, my mouth's gone ahead of my brain, and now I'm not too sure where I'm.
Just say it. Jorgensen.
Are you going Jorgensen? I'm gonna go with rather boringly De Gent.
Jorgensen's gonna win.
You think?
He'll smash against facing, mate. He's got way more watts than De Gent. Way more.
So we'll go with that as a breakaway victory.
Right. But what's our GC podium looking like?
Yeah, let's give a podium prediction. I'm gonna go with Roglic first, rather unsurprisingly. I'm gonna go with.
I also think Roglic is going to come first.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Schachmann though. I'm really just not sure about Schachmann. I'm gonna go. I think the Go-Do will come third. And I just need to think who's gonna come second. I think the names who I'm throwing out there, I'm thinking Teo. I'm thinking Schachmann. I'm thinking Bennett. So I'm going to go with Teo for second place after a very hard fought stage 8.
I'm going to go Roglic first. Who's second for me? Who's second? I think Dylan Turns is third.
Ooh.
He showed some real
Lex.
form.
Yeah.
And at this time, and with races like this, it's all about form. But Roglic can race without form because he's a god.
Yeah.
And then who's my third? Jai Hindley is second.
Wow.
Yeah. Roglic, Jai, Dylan Turns. An outside bet, Matteo Jorgensen for a top 10.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the end of the story.
I think that's it. It's probably good that we end now because we're like on 47 minutes.
Well,
I know, we've been talking for a long time. We'll just wrap it up real quick. There you go. There's the podiums. Just a quick, if you're still here and still listening, yes, we will be doing daily polls on Instagram. Go and follow us there because we'll be putting up our predictions every day. Want to see who people agree with more. We're putting up, stuff for Stradi coming up. And there's a lot of stuff happening, lots of content going to be flying about, so make sure you don't miss it. Go follow us at Owdo Cycling, OWDO Cycling, Instagram. That's it. Keep your masks on, stay safe, and yeah, I don't know.
thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. And yeah, salut!